Dear Grace, so I ran parts 1 and 2 through ChatGPT and asked if it was more like stand-up or more like spoken word, and it came back with spoken word, which I have to agree. However, for now, I'll accept that, and since I can't remember the set anyways, it doesn't matter how much is comedy or how much is stand-up, how much is spoken word, if I can't remember any of it. So until I can at least remember some of it, it's all spoken word. However, like I say in my set, Elon works 120 hours a week. I work 1, or it's probably going to take me 2 hours to get all this out, so maybe 2. 2 hours a week of practice, and we'll see how much I can remember, if anything. However, enough of the intro. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. I'm also the world's laziest man. And also Grace. Now that I've said it's spoken word, I'm not going to try and make it spoken word. I was going to say as I would if I was on stage, rather than trying to make it more dramatic or poetic or something like that. It's not intended that way. I'm just too stupid to figure out how to rewrite this. I'm autistic, but not smart like Elon Musk. I'm not good with math, or engineering, or money. I'm people smart, I guess. I read them. Unfortunately, autism can't cure aging. I'm no longer memory smart, hence the notebook. Or maybe I'm just lazy. Well, I remember a comedy routine when you can just read one out. I don't know if it's because I'm a senior, or so-called autistic, or retired, but I hate repeating myself, and I hate making mistakes. I made a mistake the first time I read this out loud. I didn't care about it. It was just a shit needing evacuation. I hate to edit. But I realized with minimal cutting of words and some strategic rearranging, I can make the following an hour of stand-up comedy, if you agree with my definition. Anyone who can get on stage at a comedy club and have the audience laughing is a comedian, regardless of disabilities or any tools used to overcome the disability. I say this as an excuse for the notebook, however I think it's fair. The following started out as attempting stand-up. When I couldn't remember past a few minutes, I turned to spoken word. Now I think it's the world's longest and greatest love poem. I hate editing. I hate re-recording these words, but to be fair, I've got nothing better to do. Enough the disclaimer, on to the world's greatest hour-long first set, or the world's longest poem, love poem ever. Sorry, Grace. Back to the zero editing policy. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. I'm retired. I was forced to retire because of memory issues. Apparently it's a disability if you can't remember your friends and family. I thought it was a blessing when I forgot them. My doctor suggested a new drug that might restore my memories. I said no thanks. I'm fine with forgetting. That's when my doctor started to think I was a psychopath instead of autistic. He's probably right. A bit of both. I might be autistic like Musk, but I'm not a workaholic like him. I work for the least amount possible, for the maximum return. Some people call that lazy. I call it efficient. He actually works 120 hours a week. I perform 1 hour a week on stage. Who's smarter? Sure, he's saving the planet with his cars, rockets, and satellites, but I'll save your mind with comedy or mild entertainment. Instead of trying comedy, what I should do is take the pills and go back to my old career, computer programming. But then I'd be working 40 hours a week. Most of my pay would go to the government for back taxes, and my living situation wouldn't be any better. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the opener, memory issues, that I owed a shit ton of taxes. That's the official amount. Shit ton. That's an actual measurement in Saskatchewan. How much grain you hauling today? A couple of shit tons. I'm not good at math, but I did the calculation on my back taxes. Even if AI doesn't ruin the field of computer programming, it would take 10 years or more to pay back what I owe. It seems like a lot of work. I can just write the world's funniest stand-up routine and pay off the full amount in one night. If you laugh. If you're not laughing, I'm fucked. Actually, I'm not fucked. I could declare bankruptcy and walk away from the debt. It would ruin my credit rating, but that's not a problem because it's already zero. Or it's negative. Or I'm not sure what it is. I don't even know how credit ratings work. I'm 60 years old. I should have a basic understanding, but I don't. All I know is mine has to be the worst possible. I have no credit, so bankruptcy is not a threat to make me pay Revenue Canada. It's a viable option. However, only I like more than comedy is a good comeback story. Sorry, I have to take coffee breaks. Grace, I'm gonna get through this. I need coffee. Late night recording instead of the daytime recording. Alright. However, the only thing I like more than comedy is a good comeback story. I give Trudeau and the government a check for my back taxes. Within a year of me standing on stage, or one of these stupid videos taking off on YouTube, my life will change. And it's a great fucking story. For me. And you, if you dislike Trudeau. Doesn't everyone hate him? If you dislike him, share this video, or audio, or whatever it is you're listening to, or reading. Get rid of Trudeau for whatever reason. And help me pay back my taxes through the power of social media and social change. End of story. So, to pay back my taxes, either I work my ass off for 10 years, assuming the drugs work, or write comedy for 1 year or less, or I declare bankruptcy and tell them to fuck off. Which would you do? If I was pretty, I'd just find an old rich lady to marry and hope she dies soon. That sounds mean, but I'm autistic. I'm too honest according to doctors. How the fuck can honesty be a symptom of any mental condition, or neurological disorder, or whatever autism is? Honesty is not the problem. Honesty should never be a symptom of anything. Seducing old ladies won't work for me. I clearly don't have the looks to be a gigolo. I cut my own hair, wear clothes until they fall off my body. Plus, I look too young. Too young for a 90-year-old woman to marry. I look like her son. Good for her, but I'm lazy. But luckily, autism makes me smart. It has nothing to do with the thousands of books I've read or my past life experiences. My intelligence is based on a neurological condition nobody can prove. This comedy idea will solve my failed love life as well. At least one biological female of legal age will listen to this and think, he's cute, or he's smart, or I'd fuck him. Look at the millions Elon spends on his kids and wives. or whatever he calls the woman he impregnates. I won't have to spend a cent. They come to the show, they fall in love with me, I go home with them, eat their food, stay at their home until they kick me out, and then go back on stage to attract the next one. Lazy and brilliant. Or I get lucky, and the first night I meet the love of my life and live happily ever after. That's a pretty fucking good story too. Or I bomb on stage, go on a bender, and end up living on the streets, injecting heroin the rest of my life. Whichever. Elon has the flash and the cash, but I doubt he's a good listener. I don't imagine him having long, deep conversations with his concubines, unless it's about rockets. I, on the other hand, am functionally mute. I haven't had a conversation in years. I'm an excellent listener. I'll listen to your women problems all night long. You talk, and I'll look for material in your life, something I can use on stage to further my career. Don't worry, I won't say anything personal like, your armpit hair is so long I could braid it. So to summarize, I'm disabled, autistic theoretically, broke, and can't dress myself. Perfect catch. Disabled, so you know I won't go anywhere. Autistic, so you know I'm honest. I literally cannot lie, and everything I've said so far is 100% true. I'm broke, but I don't need much to live on. A few pizza pops and some beer. Plus, I'm funnier when I drink. Not meaner like most men. I can't dress myself, but I don't care what I wear. Buy me whatever you think I'll look good in, and I'll wear it. Unless it looks gay. Contrary to what I've said so far, I'm not an idiot. I did the math on my current attractiveness. The only way my looks are attractive to a woman is through comedy. Put all this information in Tinder, and even if I look like Brad Pitt, I wouldn't get a match. I'm not lazy. Comedy's just a better way. Actually, call me lazy. Call me a fool. The more ridiculous this story becomes, the greater the chance for success. I'm lazy, but I'm lucky. Plus, Google wives of famous comedians, and you'll see a list of old white dudes with a variety of young hot wives. If you're vain like me, comedy's the way to go. Or, desperate in your last chance of love and happiness before throwing yourself off a bridge. I was forced to live on government disability due to memory issues. Did I mention I can't remember shit about the past? The same government that pays me monthly then complains and asks for me to pay my back taxes. Make up your mind, CRA. I knew it'd be nearly impossible to find a place in Vancouver. Then, like a miracle, I found a room to rent in a house full of international students. I lied and said I was a student, but to be fair, I was planning on returning to school, if I could. And I would have if again, it wasn't for the government. Fuck Trudeau. It's probably not him directly, but it's easier to use him as my pawn in my cause. To be fair, I know nothing about him or his politics. If it helps me pay back my back taxes, I don't care. I'll pretend to hate him like everyone else. The story is, they, the government, wouldn't pay for re-educating me after they declared me disabled. But they still want their back taxes. Cunts. Anyway, back to my living situation. Currently, on my floor, I share a kitchen and 2 washrooms with 3 female students in their 20s. I'm lucky because all of them remind me of my daughter, both in age and race. Also, I treat them like my daughter. I only talk to them when needed. I say hi to them when I run into one in the hallway, but there's no long conversations. Everyone seems to mind their own business. Sometimes I hear them talking and laughing in the kitchen, but I don't join in the discussion. Like when a teenage daughter has friends over to visit, you have to stick around the house so they don't bring over teenage boys, but otherwise you try and give them some privacy. Although in this case, I guess university age boys, or young men, I guess. Not that's any of my business. However, if my 20-something roommates started bringing home teenage boys, I'm not sure what I would do. It wouldn't be illegal. It would be odd, but not illegal. So I'd probably watch the teenage boys leave the house with a massive smile on their face. My housemates are all pretty, but again, like my daughter's past and present friends, I try not to notice. The only thing I do notice and don't like is the long black hair in the bathrooms. On their head it's pretty, but plaster on the walls and floor of the shower, it's not. The drain is disgusting. I've learned not to look at my feet while I shower. I've tried shoving it down the drain with my big toe in the past, but I've given up now. I start to gag. I'm glad I only had one daughter. 3 would have been a hair nightmare. To be fair, that's not completely true. I had one daughter and her Asian mother. It was a hair nightmare. My current situation, one of the 2 showers gets pretty bad, but the one I use has been good for months. The girl that uses it doesn't seem to shed too much, and I can wash it down the drain before heaving. I feel sorry for the landlord when that pipe backs up. Well, he could probably save the hair and donate it to cancer victims. I hope they wash it first. I pee in that shower. I'm not going to say my housemates' names for 2 reasons. 1, to protect their privacy when this comedy gold crushes somewhere. 2, because I can't pronounce any of their names, first or last. I can spell them. I see their mail on the kitchen table, but I can't pronounce. They've all introduced themselves to me, but the names are too difficult for my mouth to repeat or my brain to remember. Instead, I have nicknames that I use in my head. The smoker, the nurse, and this one sounds bad, but Petri dish, which is close to how her name is spelled, so I think it fits. It's not about her cleanliness habits. In fact, Petri dish is the one who sheds the least. The smoker scares me, not on purpose, but we both walk quietly, and too many times I'm either leaving the house for a smoke, or she's coming in after one, and we accidentally scare each other coming around a corner. We both laugh, but I'm not sure my heart can take too many more surprises. The nurse is the friendliest. I broke my hand last year and she's the only one who asked me how. The other 2 didn't care, or I guess she probably told them. She asked if I needed help with anything, but the only problem I was having was wiping my ass and showering. However, I remembered my golden rule, and if I wouldn't ask my daughter for help, I shouldn't ask her. Not that I would have, regardless of the daughter golden rule. I'm autistic, not a gross asshole. I figured it out myself. I just didn't wash for 2 weeks. What's the big deal? I do have a backup plan for back taxes. If this so-called comedy fails, counterterrorism, I'll explain. I figure at least one of my other housemates, not the ones that live on my floor, but at least one of the other so-called students, is probably a spy for their home country. My plan is to catch them, collect rewards so large it pays my back taxes, and sets me up with a nest egg for the rest of my life. I can always tell when new students move in. The Wi-Fi sucks for a few days. I think they're watching or downloading porn banned in their home countries. Then they get it out of their system, or they fill up their hard drives, and the Wi-Fi goes back to normal. I have no proof. This is a simple deduction, as I noticed the Pornhub homepage looks all different at the beginning of the month, like someone new is influencing the house feed. Maybe Grace people can just listen to this to go to sleep. It's putting me to sleep. It's getting boring reading it over and over again. Teach their own. I'm not into BBW, but someone from another country sure is interested. Now, if the entire feed was old white guys hooking up with international students, and I wasn't the one searching for that, there'd be a different story. It's not. Trust me. I check the page once a day, just to be sure. And no, I don't search for international students or DILF to artificially manipulate the feed and implant subliminal messages into my housemates' minds when they go to the main page and see nothing but porn with a guy that looks like me, assuming they watch porn in the first place. That sounds psychotic. Only a psycho would manipulate a house's IP address that way. It's not like I'm a retired computer programmer who understands algorithms and IP addresses to manipulate the house feed by writing a computer program that searches for that 24/7 until the only thing on the homepage are dudes that look like me. I could, but I'm not interested in manipulating my young, pretty housemates into finding me attractive. You'll find out why shortly. Holy fuck, I gotta rewrite that paragraph. All of that. And no, I'm not gay, is the punchline, Grace. Ba-dum-bum. To be fair, it's not just porn. Everyone else got a notice about someone downloading GTA 5 from BitTorrents. I respect for the game, but there are better ways to steal software than torrents. Maybe we should give new housemates a lesson in VPNs. Sign up for ExpressVPN. Use the promotional code KillTony. I love irony. Now that I'm 60, I don't have... I love irony. Now I'm 60 and don't have a chance with any of them. I'm surrounded by significantly more 20-something girls than I ever was in my 20s. Back in the 80s, if you didn't work with them or go to secondary school, they didn't seem to exist. Bars were the only place to meet a potential partner. And although I'm a funny drunk, eventually I'd have to sober up and be myself. Now I live with 3. In addition, I can go to any coffee shop during the day, and every barista is 20-something, hot and exotic looking. Where were all the fucking Starbucks in the 80s? I would have either gotten a job there and hit on all of them, or spent my paychecks there, watching them work, and trying to worm my way into their existence by sitting there daily pretending to be important and looking cute, or like a pathetic puppy, whichever would cause them to take me home or scratch my belly. I'm easy. Instead, now I just look like a perverted old man living with students and drooling over any barista that is nice to me. It's hard not to look like a pervert if you're old and alone. I try to go to the park and write, but it's noisy. Fucking kids. At least I don't look like a pervert there. I stay on the other side of the park, sitting on a bench, tucked between a couple of trees, with a telephoto lens hidden in my gym bag. Just kidding. Samsung 24 has a great zoom. No long lens needed. I unfortunately can't lie. I have a Samsung 7. Technically I have 2, so it's like a 14 if I glue them together. That's an autism joke, in case you haven't figured that out yet. I do go to the park quite a bit in the summer to watch the kids. Not perverted because I avoid the end of the park with the wading pool and the playground. It's nothing but kids falling off monkey bars or screaming at the top of their lungs every time they touch the water. I hang out by the ball diamonds, where parents picnic and let their kids run free, like dogs. And sometimes they're dogs too. I like watching kids push themselves, chasing a soccer ball until they fall face first in the grass. Then I laugh. I need to stop making jokes about kids, no matter what, after 5. It sounds perverted. I'll go back to jokes about my pretty international housemates and how they have pillow fights every night, all scantily clad, because the air conditioner is broken. Again. I wish. That last statement isn't true. I don't live in the Playboy Mansion. And in fact, I like it cold, not hot in the house. And they don't wear anything scantily. They wear sweaters and sweats. Boring. See, I can't lie. Maybe I am autistic. But I do wear bras, panties, and nighties in my room, if that counts as scantily. My hairy old man balls hanging out of panties. Who'd be turned on by that? On a less disgusting thought, the following stereotype is true. People from other countries cook weird shit. I don't mind. I can't smell. My nostrils are blown out from years of coke. Not true. Adderall? Yes. Cocaine? No. But not snorting it. Snorting Adderall doesn't make it stronger. So I've been told. Either way, their food chases make their cycling bin way more interesting to check out. I do have a complaint about one of them. I'm not sure which one. Too shy to say anything about it. And now I find it kind of funny. Like when the smoker scares the crap out of me. The recycling bin is near the door to my room. I and two of the girls gently place articles in the bin. Well, the final girl thinks she's in the WNBA, attempting a three-pointer at the buzzer. I'll never be able to say that fucking sentence for some fucking reason. Who throws a can from 10 feet away and rebounds it off my wall like a backboard. And I can't even figure out which of the three does it, because it often happens during my afternoon nap. I'm too lazy to get up and say something. If I accidentally catch her in the act one day, I'll find something funny or sarcastic to say to get my point across, just like I used to with my daughter. Trust me, the daughter golden rule is all you need to manage or attract women, especially if you're lazy. Now to the racist jokes. Some of you may have heard about a Trump rally where comedian Tony Hinchcliffe told a great joke about Puerto Rico, and the mainstream press had a conniption fit. The outrage drove his popularity even higher. Maybe it'll work for me. Remember my dream? To pay my back taxes by being a comedian? One set to change your lifetime? Mine? Yours too if you think this shit is funny. Not just desperate and pathetic. I can't be a complete racist. I don't know what countries my housemates are from, but I would say anywhere from any part of Asia. If you're from one of the other brown areas of the world, is that racist enough? I mean, there are 3 rice cookers on the counter. Can't they share one big one? The Canadian symbolic melting pot, so to speak. Maybe after I pay off my taxes, I'll supply the house with one big-ass rice cooker and unlimited rice. On one condition: no rice maggots. What are rice maggots? Glad you asked. This is primarily a condition that affects white people, or people like me. Weird. Rice maggots are grains of cooked or uncooked rice found on the floor or in the sink, or any place you'd rather not see a maggot. Because for a split second, when my brain sees a random grain of rice on the ground, it says maggot to me. Then I remember the odds of maggots being on my floor are much lower than rice, and I clue myself in. I wouldn't be a Nazi about it. Here's free rice, but please keep the rice maggots under control. Is being a Nazi about rice maggots, is being a Nazi about rice maggots being racist? It's a tough sentence. Is being a Nazi about rice maggots being racist? Even if you're doing a nice thing like free rice. I really need to get cancelled before I even start doing stand-up. There's no fucking way I'll remember this set. Not even just the stand-up parts. I don't even want to repeat it again. I wish one of my housemates was Puerto Rican. Would they be international? What is Puerto Rico? It's not a state, but it's American. American isn't international enough for me, especially from a territory. Hell, I barely respect Alaska as a state. Mostly because the Canadians were dumb as fuck for for not outbidding the USA in that deal of a lifetime. The whole territory concept is a second thought. Make Puerto Rico a state, or cut it free and let it float away, like a big fat garbage patch. See, I knew Tony was right to make that joke. Feels great to call things garbage patches. My hair is a garbage patch. My wardrobe is a garbage patch. I'm a fucking garbage patch person. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic garbage patch senior with a plan to change my life through comedy and making fun of everything and everyone in my life now and forever. I call myself autistic, a retired autistic senior, but really I'm the only retired autistic senior I know. It's not like there's a group of us, a club that meets monthly. I don't know any retired people, and I don't know any autistic seniors. Maybe I just want to be unique. When I got diagnosed with autism, I disagreed. I wrote a 200-page summary as to why the doctors were wrong. I don't think I'm autistic. I think I'm either lazy, or stupid, or both. Or I'm a fucking genius. In my current living situation, I'm surrounded by 3 20-something hot female international students. Yet I fall for a hot 20-something barista. And I'm so dumb. I'm too shy to talk to the barista. I'm too shy to practice with any of my housemates. That's not autism, that's just stupidity. On the other hand, since I've had the same 3 roommates for almost a year now, it'd be creepy as fuck if all of a sudden I started to pretend to hit on them for practice. It's even creepier to tell them this story and ask for help. Again, if I wouldn't ask my daughter. I don't know if one comedy set can change the world, but it sure could change this man's world. If this set goes viral, everything changes. If it doesn't, I just wake up the next day and do it all over again. That's the only benefit of having a shitty memory. I can't remember how bad I did the day before. Perfect for a comedian, especially since I refuse to listen to any of these past recordings. I think no memory is absolutely the best obstacle I could have in becoming the world's greatest comedian. If you want to be good, forget about the past day and your past life. My life is like 50 first dates, but without the love and happiness. Anyway, ignore my fake sadness. Back to my living situation. I doubt any of my housemates see me as a father figure. Probably just some weirdo who eats pizza pops 5 times a week. I'm sure they see my recycling bin contributions. The only thing I know, based on the recycling bin, is when it's quote-unquote that time of the month. Yes, all 3 of them are synced up in their monthly cycle. I don't know how they did it, but the same week of the month, they all get the check from their parents. And then, during that week, the recycling bin goes from ramen noodles to takeout containers. Which, to be fair, is the same for me when I get my old age security check. I go from pizza pops to 7-Eleven pizza or chicken wings. Living the life while retired. I don't set a very good example, parenting, or a positive Canadian example for the students. I sleep in until noon. It's lucky if I have a shower before 3. Then I'm out from 4 to midnight. I come back smelling like cigarettes and beer. Or cigarettes and coffee. This is more of an erratic and estranged uncle behavior than a positive parent figure. I might be an uncle. I can't remember. Memory issues. I wonder what the housemates tell their parents. Some weird old guy lives in the house. I rarely see him, but he loves a food called pizza pops. I don't set a good example for anyone. Plus, I've done a shitty job in the story of explaining the barista. I guess I have 5 20-something girls in my life. My daughter, my 3 housemates, and a barista I have a crush on. I call her the barista, because I also don't know her name. Well, her last name. I know her first name, but I'm too shy to say it on stage. Like it's bad luck, and she'll never appear again if I do. Like she's Voldemort. She might be. I doubt I'll ever be with the barista, but it's a good story. The concept got me out of a depressing thought, being alone the rest of my life, and never getting laid again. I'll explain. I'm 60 years old, but I'm not dead. Little Dave works just fine. In fact, we plan on having children again, if the barista plays along, or any woman of childbearing age. The barista's probably half my age. I know nothing about her other than her looks, and watching her interactions with customers and coworkers. Half my age is odd, but not as bad as half my height. That would be odd if she was waist high, but equally proportioned. However, she's twice my height. I'd be okay with that. Sex with a giant would be interesting for me. I'd give it a go. Probably be boring for her. Or pedophile-ish. I'm also twice as ugly as her, although that comparison doesn't really work if she's not ugly. So I'll say her beauty is twice my ugliness. She's the world's smartest person, or at least twice as smart as I am. Or my autism is, depending on how you look at smartness. Why do I know she's this smart? I'll explain. Before I developed an undeniable and never-ending crush on the barista, I used her. I used her as a character in a script, a smart woman, pretty but out of place. I noticed one day that she remembered my coffee selection. It wasn't difficult, but she basically read it out to me one day. It wasn't difficult. One day she read it out to me before I tried to order. From that moment forward, she often, but not always, but a noticeable number of times, she started my coffee order for me as I walked into Starbucks. If I was in line, it'd be ready and waiting for me by the time I made it to the cashier. And although she was acting like the app, as if I had ordered online, I didn't mistake this as her having interest in me. If anything, it's probably easier for her, as I tend to mumble in the first place. She probably is tired of asking me to repeat my order. To be fair, she was often the first and or only person I would speak to some days. I joke about my housemates, but our schedules really are opposite, and I only see them enough to come up with these jokes. I should hang out with them more. Maybe the jokes would be funnier. Or I'll learn their names. With the barista, I simply saw her as a potential character for one of my scripts, not a possible love interest. But I kept track. I sat close to the till, and any time she remembered someone's order, I made a note in my notebook with a description of the person. I was nearing 100 orders that she knew off by heart when the one that broke the camel's back, so to speak, came through the door. Actually, before that, and before I would call her my crush, I did think to myself, somebody that can remember that many fucked up coffee orders surely can remember to remind me to submit my taxes every year. Wouldn't that be a perfect wife? Anyway, the character in my notebook and the real barista were nearing 100 memorized orders when a gaggle of women came in one day. It wasn't busy. The cashier was in the bathroom while the barista was making a drive-thru order. Then, the barista noticed the cashier was taking some time to return and asked one of the ladies, "Should I start your usual order?" Then the barista repeated a long convoluted coffee order back to the lady. Shocked, the lady said yes. And then turned to her friends and exclaimed, "I guess I have a usual." Overhearing the lady, the barista added, I remember. Normally you come in with your students. They all talk to you about you being a great teacher. Doubting, the teacher replied, "My students?" To which barista replied, "Yes, your students." And then something stopped in my head. I wonder if she lied to the lady, just to make her day. If yes, why? Why would the barista, both the character and in real person, lie? Maybe I am autistic. After the event, I was unsure what I should do, so I sent her manager a complimentary email about her excellent customer service and kindness, and then I ghosted her. Never went back to that Starbucks, even though it was the perfect distance from my house and had the most comfortable seats. And I haven't seen her for a year. I've spent the entire time expanding the character into the perfect theoretical wife for both the script and real life, while simultaneously working on becoming a stand-up comedian, so I could walk back into that Starbucks and not feel like a complete loser when I asked her out. I guess I didn't really ghost her, since we never talked, but the term seems fitting. And no, I didn't stalk her all this time, if you're wondering. Sorry, correction, I've never stalked her. Not in person, not online, not with a drone, not with AI voice recognition, not by hiring an artist to draw a sketch of her working, nothing. Well, I have a memory too, but memories are not stalking. If you laughed so far, I'm well on my way to making this the world's greatest routine, or whatever it is. And and solving not only my financial issues with the fucking Trudeau government, but my love life as well. Or if you didn't laugh, I get it. You hate my love story, but you love Trudeau. Sad. I said you should protest Trudeau and share this story. Make his government pay for what they did to the truckers. Anything else that pisses you off that would encourage you to share. But I get it, I've been there. Maybe the rest of this romantic comedy isn't for you. It's clear I've given up making this a stand-up routine. I don't care if I'll be forced to read this on stage from a book, because I could never memorize half the story, funny to me or not. On the other hand, if I was Elon, I'd just walk up to the barista and awkwardly say, "Hey, I'm Elon Musk. I'm rich, successful, and make beautiful, intelligent babies. Unfortunately, I'm busy saving the world, so you'll be the primary caregiver, but you and the kids will be set for life, even if all my businesses fail. So, are you interested?" And then Elon would walk away and get a yes or a no. Hell, if I could get pregnant, I'd give him a yes. I'm not that lucky. I have to prove my love to the barista. I have to write silly comedy stories and stand on stage embarrassing myself until I'm one of those successful comedians. And then I'll have to return to that Starbucks again, pray she still works there, and risk embarrassing myself if I find she's there but is now married. That would suck. Although married to her boyfriend, I'd wait it out. If married until they have kids, then I'd give up. But boyfriend is different. For a game, there's no ring on the finger. In that case, I'd just make sure one of my videos, or a few 100,000 words of mine, found a way into her phone. I just have to be funnier than a boyfriend, and since I'm the world's greatest comedian, it's a shoo-in. I'm clearly delusional. I really should just go back and see if she's working tomorrow, and if she is, just sit outside all day reading this routine to myself, or anyone who will listen, or until someone calls the cops. Both will probably happen on the same first day. Both will probably happen on the same day. The first day someone hears this type of humor in public, it may butthurt them. Now you know why I don't hit on my housemates. I spend all day writing about the perfect wife. You'd feel like cheating on the character. Sorry, I mean the barista, who is a character and a person. They just haven't met each other yet. It gets confusing, which is why it's easier just to ghost her location. And she's hot, so there must be a boyfriend, or girlfriend. Anyways, I wouldn't have a chance. So, this story is really more of a writing exercise at this point than a crush or a love story. Or not. Who the fuck knows? Back to my living situation. And hopefully some more jokes or anything funnier than me being a desperate loser with a crazy plan to seduce the barista with comedy. I rarely hear anything in the house except laughter or a loud movie. I assume the noise leaving my room is the same for them when I watch a movie or cry myself to sleep or fart. I'm kidding, of course. I don't cry myself to sleep. I pass out. That's a lie. I'm a 60-year-old man. 60-year-old men don't cry. We build up all of our pent-up frustration and take it out in anger. It's like every man, regardless of age. But we fart a lot and loudly, or I guess proudly. I pay $666 a month rent, the perfect amount to charge the devil. It didn't start out that amount. It was $600 with the minimum increase applied yearly. It's not $666. I don't mind. Every month I pretend I'm the devil and it's blood money. I have an overactive imagination. Is it autism or normal? Why would a normal person try to seduce a stranger with only comedy without even talking to them? Either I'm nuts or I'm brilliant. DSM-5 says nuts. I say comedic genius. My room is pretty noisy when the window's open. Closed, it's fine, but the room gets stuffy. Remember, farts. Open at night is alright. Earplugs take care of the noise, but during the day I'm screwed. It's too noisy to think. It's what forced me into the arms of my barista in the first place. A quiet place to write, and only a short walk away. On a less love story note, basically the only time I can write from home in a relaxed environment is if someone dies. Let me explain before we call the cops. I live beside a transit station. Trains come and go every 2 to 5 minutes throughout the day. And I'm beside the on-off ramp to a busy bridge. The only time I get a break is if someone throws himself in front of a train or off the bridge. Then, for an hour or so, the trains stop while they clean up the mess, or the bridge traffic stops as they try and talk the person down from the ledge. Either way, I get a decent break from the noise. I know what you're thinking, and I agree. Suicide is a bad thing, even though it's legal in Canada. I'm not in any way suggesting more people kill themselves. I'd rather have everyone alive and well. But I thought, if they're going to do it anyway, and nobody's going to stop them, why not use the bridge close to my house? And then, like in San Francisco, they could put up some nets or something to catch them, or phones, or whatever they've done there. It'll still fuck up the traffic for a while, giving me a noise break, and eventually it'll lower the number of suicides when people know they'll get help at my bridge. Brilliant plan, yes. Not psychopathic at all. Sure, maybe a bit selfish and autistic, but according to DSM-5, that is who I am. I can never change my personality, ever. I'm not sure what to do about the train suicides, but I'm working on it. They're a lot messier to clean up than a body floating down the river. Maybe they could just slow the fucking train down a bit before it arrives at the station. Less noisy for me when they're arriving, and if someone jumps in front, they'll just get shoved down the track a bit, or bumped over, not seriously hurt. Unless they electrocute themselves, then they're fucked. Nothing I can do about electricity. Snow works well too. Enough of it will close the bridge, road, and station. But this is Vancouver, and snow is rare. That humor's too dark for you. I don't care. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. If you enjoyed this 100% true and verifiable story, please donate $1 million to the charity of your choice, and send me a $50 Domino's gift card. or any Canadian pizza place, or any pizza place in Vancouver, near transit station. 7-Eleven will work too. Meow. Alright, let me start this set, or poem, or whatever this is. Spoken word, I guess. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired artistic senior. I'm probably insane, but I'm in love with a woman half my age. I'll explain. I'm retired, but I was forced to retire due to memory issues. Hence the notebook. Don't worry though, it's not the bad kind where you forget your friends and family. It's the good kind where you forget your friends and family. I'm poor retired, no RRSPs, no savings, no house, no car, no credit card, no money under the mattress, no gift cards that I haven't used, nothing. Each month I receive a disability check from the Canadian government for $1,500. Thanks, Trudeau. Which they always threaten to take back for something called back taxes. Whatever those are. Rich retired people go to the tanning salon. Poor retired have farmer's tans. It's December, I still have a farmer's tan. I'm barely a senior. I'm 60, but my body feels young, 30-ish. My brain feels 120, but there's nothing I can do about gray matter. And finally, I'm not in love with a woman half my age. I have a crush. Or on a 20 or 30-something barista. In my head, I call her the barista. I don't know her age, but I'm hoping it's 30, not 25. Although this stage of my life, what difference does an age gap make? I'll never do anything about the barista anyway. It's just a good story to tell on stage. And finally, my living situation. $1,500 isn't enough to live on in Vancouver, but I found a room to rent in house full of international students. If you listen to my first set, the world's greatest set, and longest kill Tony set, you'll know I have 3 hot international female housemates. If you didn't listen, now you know. I'm going to continue this set with the jokes and concepts that failed to make it in the first set. I guess these are the bloopers, or the cutting room floor, or what. Or I was too lazy to integrate. Whatever. It's the last one, I was too lazy to integrate. I can understand why international students would prefer Vancouver over Toronto, or any other cold Canadian city. I wear this hoodie, and only this hoodie, unless it's below 0. They put on winter coats the moment the first tree changes color. I'm not nosy with my housemates, I'm just observant. Blame the autism, not snoopiness. 2 houses beside me are also full of international students. I can't confirm that for sure, but the makeup of the tenants are the same. I watch them come and going when I smoke in the backyard. I'm determined to find the spy, or at least have the data ready for the government when they interview everyone in the house about Mohammed next door. I thought one day I had him. I noticed a pattern of one neighbor. He comes home at the end of the day, sits in his vehicle for 10 minutes, I assume uploading data to a foreign server via a sat phone, before he goes into this house, to his girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure which she is. If he sits out there too long, she comes out and gives him a look, at which point he reluctantly leaves the comfort of his truck. Then I realized he's probably not a terrorist. He's probably listening to his favorite playlist, the one she hates, or just preparing himself for home life, like any other Canadian, new or otherwise. On a different note, Trump won the election thanks to Elon, which means a bunch of things for the world, but more specifically, Elon will continue with his plan to repopulate the earth single-handedly. And now he'll have a lineup of women waiting to be impregnated. I think I made the mistake taking the comedic approach and focusing on one person, the barista. I'm clearly not the world's smartest man. I should have stuck with computer programming or got a job in AI. However, I'm still the most determined man in the world. Either the barista will be my wife, or I'll continue to write these stories about her until the day I die a lonely death in my room. And then my housemates will be forced to call the authorities because of the odor, greater than normal fart smell. I'm kidding, of course. I always keep my window open, so it'll probably take until the end of the month, and after I haven't paid my $666 in rent for anyone to notice. I can imagine it now. The landlord starts pounding on my door. He gets impatient, opens the door thinking I've skipped town, and then he and my housemates see my rotting corpse. The girls lose their minds. The landlord thinks, that mattress is fucked. But the bed frame's probably okay. And then, finally this will go viral when they realize my webcam has been filming my decomposing body live the entire time. That's a joke. I can't afford a webcam until I go viral, and I can't go viral without dying and stinking in my room apparently. In the joke, not real life. As I said before, I wouldn't do that to my daughter, so I wouldn't do it to my housemates. Besides, I have a perfectly good bridge within walking distance I can throw myself off when I give up. I realize this is more pathetic than funny, but the truth hurts until it doesn't. The noise of my house is still a problem. I'm losing sleep and grumpier than normal. Here's an idea for Vancouver Transit Authority people. Install decibel meters inside and outside the train. Then, if the train gets too noisy, the system automatically triggers an alarm and slows down the train. Or maybe a maintenance work order is automatically created to give the train a good greasing, or to spray down with WD-40, or whatever they do, if they do anything at all. Because currently I don't think they give a crap. Here's another one for transit. I find it offensive that advertisements in the train for the HPV vaccine only advertise to 18 to 45-year-olds. It specifically says if you're 18 to 45. Isn't that ageist? What is a pervert like me supposed to do? I haven't been with someone over 18 in a long time. Joke, I can't lie. But I think the legal age in Canada is 16. Don't they deserve protection? Or 16-year-old Canadians are not having sex. What is HPV anyway? Does it make you pee funny? I know nothing about it other than it requires physical contact to transmit, so I'm not worried. Finally, my last week of beef with transit, for today at least. Nobody ever offers me the disabled /senior seat, which I'm both. Mentally disabled, sure, but it counts as I look off enough for maybe someone to offer me a seat. Got an update for that one, Grace. Someone did offer me a seat the other day, but I think it's just because I looked at her. I was just looking at the person, and for some reason she thought that I was like wanting her to get up. She goes, "Do you want my seat?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." So I did get a seat offered to me right after making that joke. Anyway, Grace, my laptop is old like me and overheats like I do. The only place I can use is on my desk, and only if the window's open and it's below 7 degrees outside. I can't take the library anymore for fear that if I move it, it breaks permanently and never starts up. Plus the library is room temperature, too warm for the computer and me. Outside at Starbucks would be cold enough, but there are no plugins and my battery is dead. Plus I'm still ghosting the barista, so I can't go there anyway. If I was smart, I would have developed a crush on the weed barista, not the coffee barista. I could use a discount for the amount of weed I smoke. Coffee I can still afford. Barely. I have a notebook because sometimes I mess up that first line and say I'm a retired autistic salesperson instead of senior. I have a routine for that, but I'm not going to do it. I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. I say that so much I forget I can't really retire. I need to start a comedy career and pay off my back taxes instead. Early in this story, I said I couldn't tell a lie. It's mostly true, but I do exaggerate. About the time I wrote the jokes about smoking in the backyard, I was not smoking. I was using nicotine gum. But somehow smelling like nicotine gum and coffee, can't even fucking say it. Somehow smelling like nicotine gum and coffee doesn't work as well as smelling like cigarettes and coffee. So I exaggerated. Sue me. I don't know what the 20-something generation is. I don't know what the 20-something generation is. X, Y, Z, whatever. I assume this is a generation who loves technology, just not to connect with others. Well, family. Well, me. I had to remove my daughter as my emergency contact for fear it would take her a week to respond in an actual emergency. To be fair, I'm a shitty emergency contact too. Haven't turned on my phone ringer for years. Not even vibrate. I could care less who's calling. And when I do get a message, if I don't recognize the number, it takes me a few days before I bother to check who called. It's probably just the CRA calling about their fucking back taxes anyway. I'll have the last laugh on my kid though. When I die, I should be forced to ask the medical examiner to unlock my laptop using my dead finger, or pry my eyes open for facial recognition. Who am I kidding? My laptop doesn't have either of those. My phone barely has a fingerprint scanner. I found a solution to the bridge suicide problem I talked about before. Stickers. I'm going to secretly put up a bunch of stickers with the suicide prevention hotline number on them. Maybe just one or two a day to keep them fresh and so I don't get caught and charged with vandalism or graffiti or stickering. Hate government overreach. There's probably a specific law against stickers. Eventually, though, rumors will spread, or someone will take a video of all the stickers and it'll go viral, making my bridge a place to jump to your destiny and giving me a break from traffic noise. Knowing my luck, though, all the tugboats will start blowing their horns to stop the people on the bridge from jumping. I can't win. Maybe I should move into an old folks' home. Assisted living. Me and all the wheelchair-bound seniors. 3 cooked meals a day? Why not? I can become the complex horror until the barista notices my amazing comedy. Maybe I am autistic, although I don't believe autism, and most of the conditions in the DSM-5 are real, but especially autism. The one condition where the patient is fine, but the family wants him or her to change their personality. However, when it comes to the barista, maybe I am autistic. Most people, when they fall in love, or most people when they are attracted to someone who adjusts their appearance, fix their clothes to present themselves in the best possible form. I would too, except the barista already knows I only have black t-shirts, jeans, and shorts. So what am I supposed to do? Walk into Starbucks now wearing an Armani suit? I don't think so. It wouldn't work. It's not me. Plus, if the government found out I had nice clothes, they'd probably repossess them. Fucking Trudeau. I should really give up on the barista, but the universe seems to have other plans. The last housemate to move in basically looks like their barista. Could be her sister, her cousin, her tribe mate from the old country. A pretty girl moves in across the hall. How lucky am I? Not very. Every time I try to talk to her, I get tongue-tied. How unlucky am I? So, I can't even talk to someone that looks like my crush, let alone my actual crush. I have memory issues, but I can skip the notebook if I take Adderall. The only issue is I talk too fast. The last time I took Adderall by prescription, I ended up in the psych ward. I don't think the doctors know shit. I was diagnosed with ADHD in 15 minutes. 18 questions and 15 minutes later, I walked out with an Adderall prescription. That's some serious psychoanalysis and medical diagnosis, doctor. Not. How did the doctor know I wasn't lying? The questions were obvious. Do you have trouble sitting still? Let me see. Which answer will get me the drugs, doctor? If I'm ADHD and or autistic and or psychotic, one of the traits should be determination. Same goes for old age. Fuck age. Fuck autism. Fuck labels. I'm determined to find a wife, not a girlfriend or partner. A wife. Not an old-fashioned love, honor, and obey wife. A modern woman, but of childbearing age. So decades younger than I am. Why not? In 10 years, we'll all be cyborgs. Or Tesla borgs. And age won't matter anymore. I get lost when writing or reading this, whatever this is, which is why I return to my opener. Hi, I'm David. I'm old. I'm retired. I was a computer programmer. I've been married a couple of times. I have one grown adult daughter. I have memory issues. I was diagnosed with autism, but I disagree. Some people think I'm gay, but I disagree. Probably shouldn't stumble on that line. I was diagnosed with autism, but I disagree. Some people think I'm gay, ba-ba-doo-ba-dee-ba-dee. Some people. I was diagnosed with autism, but I disagree. Some people think I'm gay, but I disagree. I'm trying to become a writer or comedian or both. I look like a Ricky Gervais clone. I'm incredibly lucky. And I'm in love with a woman half my age. That's a lot to take in. I don't have a starting joke, so I'm going to pick randomly to begin. I wrote so many openers before I started this routine. I made everything an opener. Hi, I'm David. I'm a late bloomer. I couldn't grow a full beard until I was 40. I didn't try weed until 45. I didn't smoke cigarettes until I was 55. And now I'm 60. Addicted to both. I'm starting from scratch. A new me. I guess I'm not a late bloomer. I never bloomed. I know I don't look 60. At least I hope I don't, as I'm in love with a woman half my age. I think she's half, approximately. At least over 25. Probably. I'm running up to 30, just in case. I'm not a pervert. If I'm in love with her, I should know her age, yes? I don't. I'm not even sure she's single. But if she isn't, I'm willing to wait. I need to continue my dream of becoming the world's greatest comedian. Anyway. On a different note, in case the barista is listening to this, she needs to know. I used to be really fat. 300 pounds. I remember losing things while watching TV. Looking all around the couch to find my pen, or phone, or vape. And then realizing that somewhere in my fat, and all I have to do is stand up, and it'll roll out. I lost the weight with keto and fasting, but long before either were cool. When I started eating a high-fat meat-based diet, my friends and family all thought my heart would explode. They wished it would. I'm not sure. Either way, it worked. Keto works. Fuck the haters. My heart is fine. I'm still on normal weight. I did it alone and without telling anyone. I was traveling at the time and living out of hotel rooms. During the day, I fasted basically. Go to Starbucks and drink coffee with heavy cream. Then I go to the grocery store and buy some fatty meat. Not only chicken wings, but often chicken wings. And I go back to my little motel room and I deep fry those fucking delicious wings. So many of them. I put them in a big old thing you put food into, a bowl. Thank you, memory. Put them in a big old bowl. I'd sit on the couch, watch Netflix, and consume chicken wings for hours. And it worked. I lost the weight. However, I still have man boobs. But with everyone being trans now, I'm thinking seriously about wearing a bra. Nobody would notice. The only reason I want to wear a bra, just so I have a place to put my vape. I saw a girl doing that the other day and I thought, fuck, that's brilliant. It's a money holder and a vape holder and a dream holder, depending on the quality of the boobs. I'm poor retired, which is really just semi-retired. You have enough to live on, but you need a part-time job. Something reliable like Walmart greeter, not something impossible like stand-up comedian. But I'm also idiot retired. I chose stand-up as my extra income, the worst possible entry-level position in show business. It pays nothing, and you're expected to be in the trenches for years, earning your dues, like it's the mob in the 30s. Until it doesn't, then comedy can pay a shit ton, enough to shut the government and Trudeau up permanently about my back taxes. Please share if you dislike Trudeau or taxes, or the CRA, or any reason at all. Hell, even if you find it's funny, you could share it. Or you could just keep listening for free, you cheap cunts. Poor retirement is like being homeless, except you have a roof over your head, but the day similar if you're alone or homely like me. However, I've discovered poor retirement is better. In normal retirement, you continue to live your boring life until you die. Sure, you might reduce your belongings a bit, but ultimately you die the same person you were all your life. In my case, I'm forced to become someone new, or do something new. I'm grateful for being poor. If I had the money, I wouldn't do anything but sit out at the park all day and smoke and drink, like the old guys lawn bowling 5 days a week at the park. Where I live is one thing I don't mind about being poor, although I do question my own actions and observations sometimes. I sit outside, and I smoke and observe like a parent, not a pervert. A parent. Remember the daughter golden rule from my first set? Nonetheless, in the early morning hours, I do see the walk of shame sometimes. I've seen every combination of international, coming and going, a celebration of peace, love, and joy. Or, I've seen a bunch of horny university students hooking up regardless of nationality. Well, I didn't see it. I assumed it. Maybe they were just studying until 5 a.m., still drinking wine. God damn, that recycling bin gives up secrets. Hi, I'm David. I don't do stand-up to become famous. I don't do it to get laid, though it'd be nice. I do it because I'm in love with a younger woman, and it's the only way I know to impress her. Is that lame? Yes or no? I don't care. If you laugh, I get laid. Make sense? Why comedy? Here's a hint. If it's easier to make her laugh, she'll fall in love with you. So I'm assuming you're not acting, and you're not an asshole underneath the act. If you're a true comedian, using material and situations from your real life, you'll open a connection to the audience. Or in my case, to her, the barista, through the audience. If you're acting like a comedian and are funny, great. If it makes people laugh, I get it. Not everyone needs to be their authentic self on stage. I do, but not others. However, I'm not interested in acting on stage. If I'm funny and my stories are funny, great. If I'm not, I'll fuck off. I wanted to be a comedian back in my 40s, but I was too embarrassed to get on stage. I didn't see how it would change my life. Whereas now, 20 years later, comedy changes everything. I'm either an idiot or a genius. You decide. Here's my scenario. 60 years old, broke, no savings, no RSPs, nothing but a monthly CPP check from the government, $1,500. Basically a homelessness sentence. However, I select to find a reasonable room to rent in a house full of international students. 2/3 of the residents are female and hot, but I'm not interested, at least not now. I'm in love with a random Starbucks barista who doesn't have a clue I exist. Well, she may remember me as a client. I doubt she sees me as a potential suitor. Such a thing exists. Either way, if she did notice me, I noticed her too late. By the time I realized how kind and probably how funny she is, it was too late. I'd fallen in love. And then, like an idiot, I ghosted her. I stopped going there until I could return and sweep her off her feet like Richard Gere in that movie, whatever it was called, An Officer and a Gentleman. Until I remembered, I'm old, fat, ugly, and poorly dressed. Plus, even though she's not fat, I doubt I could pick her up. Anything heavier than a laptop is more I can handle. And for over a year, I visited her cafe 4 to 5 times a week, looking like a massive loser. I didn't even bother to check if she had a girlfriend or boyfriend before I stopped going to that location. I decided even if she did, I'd wait. To be clear, although she was very pretty, that's not what attracted to me originally. I noticed her because she was the first at that Starbucks to remember my order. Did I fall in love because I was too lazy to order? Maybe. I've done stupider things in my life. I'm not bitter about being poor retired. Before I retired, and before I lost my memory, I was able to travel around the country with my daughter. Best time of my life, I think. I can't remember. I'm kidding. I filmed the entire trip. I can watch anytime I like. People are so worried about privacy, but for anyone with memory issues, past recorded conversations are extremely helpful. I think they need a special AI for Alzheimer's patients that records all their conversations to help them remember, or to refer to before arriving at a doctor's appointment. The doctor reviews their notes. Why shouldn't the patient? Especially someone who can't remember. This is exactly why I record all my doctor's visits. It pisses them off, but I don't care. I'm a retired autistic senior. I'll do as I please. Within the laws of Canada. Back to my housemates. They outnumber my shoe count 10 to 1. For some reason, they all keep their shoes outside their rooms. Maybe their shoes stink, or maybe they just like the extra space. I'm not sure. But each of them have at least 10 pairs of shoes or more. I have 3. 1 pair of winter rain boots. These shoes I'm wearing now. And the previous pair of these shoes, worn out with holes at the bottom, that I use as house slippers. I had a nightmare last week about not making it to the washroom in the middle of the night because I couldn't get through the hall of shoes. Couldn't get through the wall of shoes in the hallway. I'm obviously on the cheapest plan possible with Netflix, and I'm bored, so I watch all the new shit. I'm obviously on the cheapest plan possible with Netflix, and I'm bored, so I watch all the new shit. Anyone seen the show on Netflix about a guy with over 1,000 kids? Quick summary. A good-looking young man, blonde hair, blue eyes, becomes a sperm donor, but he lies on the application and donates at multiple sperm banks, which is frowned upon, but isn't a crime. Because he's good-looking and has a decent profile, hundreds, or I guess thousands, pick his sperm. As an added service, if the couples can't afford a sperm bank, he gives them a direct deposit in a Tupperware container. You find your own method to get up your hoo-ha. Again, not illegal. Although he's portrayed as an evil narcissist in the show, he is quite accommodating. If he lived too far away to get the sperm to the client without it dying, he'd go to their home and jerk off in their washroom so it was fresh. Considerate. Yes? He didn't even charge him for his gas. And if that still didn't work, he'd fuck the shit out of them until they got pregnant. With the woman's permission, of course. Again, it's not illegal. A bunch of lesbian couples used this service, and eventually, after a bunch of their kids looked alike, they, the lesbians, who do like to hang out together, and someone figured it out and caught him after comparing photos of all their kids. They realized the extent of the DNA similarities would cause a problem in the future if some of their kids met and fell in love. And if they didn't know they could get married, And they could get married and have fucked up inbred kids. You know, like how the British royalty does it. The guy's solution is to suggest everyone get a 23andMe test before dating, just in case. I agree. What if half the siblings are gay and don't have kids? Or they adopt? Is that still incest? I'm not looking to become the next sperm donor guy. I'm just wondering about humanity. I'd do the Elon Musk style. If I was rich and successful, I'd impregnate them, take care of them financially, let them make 95% of the parenting choices, and then I'd find another woman who agrees to those conditions and continue. If I fail to become a successful comedian and seduce a barista. Or I never seduce a barista and live happily ever after. I'll consider this an alternative retirement lifestyle. Why are only young guys donating sperm? Ageist? What's wrong with old guy sperm? Assuming it works. But I'm only the direct deposit. No Tupperware. No sperm bank. Sperm bank. Plus I'm lazy, so you'll have to come to my place. Ignore my international student housemates, and please don't tell them what we are doing when you leave. I prefer it if they think I'm gay. Best thing about dementia is if I bomb today, I won't remember tomorrow. Have I said that already? I rent a room in a house full of international students. It's very interesting, but I've also stayed in rehab, which is very similar in some ways. You don't get to pick your housemates. You have shared bathrooms, common areas, kitchen. Everyone's a bit odd and different. It probably feels out of place. You pray one won't freak out in the middle of the night and cut your head off. Or worse. However, when I hear inspirational music blaring from my housemates' rooms, I feel like a parent again. I like it. If you're lonely, I think it's okay to have an imaginary friend. If the friend is a positive influence, not a cunt telling you to buy a gun or a negative voice in the back of your head. Same for crushes. If you follow 2 rules, no secret photos of your crush, and no stalking in real life. Internet stalking is okay if you use your real name on social media. An imaginary friend who talks you out of psychosis is a good thing. If you created the friend in your own mind, didn't you talk yourself out of psychosis? It's okay to talk to your imaginary friends out loud. Just do it with one earbud in your ear when in public. I have invisible earbuds. So I look like a psycho no matter what. What does the DSM-5 say about imaginary friends? I look like either a pervert or a detective in the backyard smoking noise, writing notes in my notebook. On the other hand, what if my notebook helps solve a crime? Most likely who stole the pizza? Chances are it was me. I lied. I've never stolen pizza. I did steal Chinese food once, but not from someone at the house. Someone down the road. Fuck them. Long story. I'm so poor I don't lock my door. I have nothing in my room worth stealing. Also, it's highly unlikely my female housemates will try and attack me in the middle of the night. Sometimes I wonder what they think about me. When they look in the recycling bin, they must think, how many pizza pops can one man eat? First Kill Tony Minute. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior. I turned 60 this year. I'm in love with a woman half my age, 30. Some people think our age gap is excessive, me being twice her age. Could be worse. 50-25 sounds more perverted. 40-20 sounds like stepdad porn. 30-15, gross. That's a stepdad wait until she's 18. 2010, wait. 2010. This joke would get me cancelled if I was famous, but I'm not, so hear me out. This is the best ratio if it's an arranged marriage, and if there's no sex until she is 20. See? Not perverted now, is it? Yeah, I fucked that up. No sex until she's 20 and he's 30, and they're both virgins. See? Not perverted now, is it? There, that's my Kill Tony Minute. Meow. Last joke. One of my housemates is going to set the house on fire. She cooks with all four burners on high at once. I'm surprised the breaker doesn't kick. One thing, she only uses 3 pots at a time. The 4th burner is just red hot and waiting. Is she using it to warm her hands? I know when her meal is almost ready. The smoke detector goes off. Then after cleaning the smoke, she sits down to eat her fish heads, or whatever the fuck she cooked. She should really try pizza pops. They're delicious. Yeah. A lot of comedians pander to the audience or the mood of the country. Everybody hates Trudeau and the Canadian government, yes? By sharing this video and making it viral, we'll all be able to share in the joy of me telling the government, here's your money, now fuck off. Share the dream. Meow. Thanks for listening, Grace.